little question. Why does everyone think that victims of rape are making it up? I literally do not get it. Well, maybe I do.
I know it's supposed to be a cheeky joke, but people actually do make false rape claims, and people's lives are destroyed because of it. In British Columbia, a teacher by the name of Donald Barber is suing a grade 9 student for false rape claims. This man lost his job and says that he has suffered embarrassment, humiliation, as well as injury to his professional character and reputation. McGill University education professor John Bradley. As a society, we have a history of not believing kids, but I think this shows that maybe we've swung back a little too far the other way. And that goes for a lot of victims. But you know what? Laci Green can't understand that, so it mustn't be true.
Hey everyone, Laci Green here. There's kind of a huge awareness movement happening right now around sexual assault. If you haven't noticed, come join the living. One of the highest profile conversations has been about Bill Cosby. 35 different women have accused him of sexual violation.
I would just like to say I am not defending Bill Cosby, but you said they accused him. You didn't talk about any evidence they provided to support their accusations. But for you, these women don't need evidence, because you think simply accusing someone is evident enough.
Close to 90 universities are also under federal investigation for failing to address sexual assault on their campuses. Now there's a new documentary out, which I'm dying to see, called The Hunting Ground, which profiles several students who have been assaulted. By telling their stories, The Hunting Ground may be directly confronting one of the biggest barriers sexual assault survivors face. Nobody believes them and thinks that they're lying.
Like I said earlier, yes, it's possible they could be lying. And it's not that people think they're lying, it's just you need evidence. You can't just accuse someone of a crime and not provide proof.
35 women have spoken out, and Cosby still has ardent defenders and gets standing ovations on his national tour. Think about that. If 35 women can come forward and still be doubted, what chance does one woman have?
If she has evidence that that person she is accusing did the crime, her chances are probably pretty good, seeing how people are so ready to assume anyone accused of a sexual assault crime is guilty these days.
I think Jay Leno laid it out pretty nicely. Quote, "I don't know why it's so hard to believe women. Go to Saudi Arabia and you need 2 women to testify against a man. Here, you need 25, unquote. Even more interesting is the fact that literally nobody paid attention to these women until a man, Hannibal Buress, spoke up about it.
I never knew that this man has spoken about this topic before. Heck, I even had to Google his name to remember who he is. So it obviously didn't bring as much attention to this topic as you'd think.
P.S. I do love Hannibal. Can I please have his babies? Thanks. Seriously though, y'all, why don't people trust rape survivors? I think there's a related trend here. People don't trust women.
It's not that we don't trust women, but why should we trust the accuser over the accused? Oh, that's right. Because you just assume that women are always right.
It took a super viral video showing how a woman was treated walking down the street for society to acknowledge that, okay, maybe street harassment is a real thing.
Laci, please, when you're presenting an argument, have actual examples of what you're talking about instead of just telling us it's out there. And also, 2 years before that viral video, you didn't even show us, CNN did a story about street harassment. So yes, people did acknowledge it before that video.
Studies have demonstrated that even in the face of hard evidence, men still don't believe that female scientists face sexism in the workplace. They think that women are making it all up. The society-wide belief that women are liars stems in part from the belief that women are overly emotional, irrational, crazy, or hysterical.
People don't think women are liars. They just don't assume they are telling the truth over someone else.
Over at Very Smart Brothers, Damon Young writes about realizing his deeply held belief that women aren't as trustworthy as men. He cites women's crazy overreactions being the butt of the joke in stand-up comedies, the plot line of books and movies, and the crux of most of the conversations he's had with other men about women. Because women's feelings can't be trusted, our experiences and our very sense of reality aren't to be trusted either.
This is true for men as well, not just women. If someone is emotional, male or female, and they say something odd, people tend to question their experiences and sense of reality.
So our distrust of women is deeply ingrained, and I think that it fuels distrust of rape survivors. Rape victims are nearly universally doubted, and paranoia about them lying dominates every conversation. Even as studies estimate that only 2 to 5% of rape reports contain falsehoods. Compare that to false theft reports, which are at about 10%.
Laci, please provide evidence to back your argument. I could not find a single thing that said 2 to 5% of rapes are false claims.
The amount of people who distrust survivors is hugely disproportionate to the reality of sexual assault. Male rape survivors aren't believed either, but for a different set of reasons.
Jesus Christ, Laci! Evidence! You need to present evidence first before convicting someone of a crime.
There's a degrading myth that men can't be raped because they're animals that always want sex. He must have wanted it, right? Wrong. The distrust and paranoia ultimately makes it harder for victims to get justice and maintains the power of rapists because they know they won't be held accountable. 97% of rapists never face any punishment.
Again, no evidence to support your argument. And when I did my own digging, I actually did find this number on some small-time sites. But I also found on The Guardian that around 7% of reported rapes resulted in convictions in 2011 and 2012. Yes, I know, that is still a high number, but Laci, come on. It's not hard to leave a simple link to a news article. At least I provided the number I got is correct. You just keep telling us these things and expecting us to take them as facts.
So, too long didn't read version, women aren't crazy liars, men aren't inherently more trustworthy just because they're men, and using this bullshit against people who are victims of a violent crime is messed up. So, let's not. Yay! Agree? Disagree?
I myself and any reasonable person disagrees.